back once again on my channel. So today we'll learn how to make a princess bustier bodysuit. So that's the for today, guys. If this is what you are interested in, please kindly watch this video to the end. Please kindly subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, guys, so without wasting much of our time, as you can see on my cutting table, I have my pattern paper already. So you can see I first of all marked out my shoulder measurements, so for my starting line. So from there I'll go ahead and mark out my basic body measurement, okay, from my shoulder to chest line, from my shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, and the full length of this body suit. So that is what you see me doing right now. I'm marking out all my measurements, all my vertical measurements. So the first is the starting line or the shoulder line. So after that, then the next thing on the shoulder line, I'll go ahead and divide my shoulder measurement by 2. So from there, I'm going to come down. So I'll go ahead and mark an ½ inch for shoulder slope. So I'll come down to get my chest line. So my chest line, I used my shoulder measurement divided by 2. That's how I got my chest line. So after that I connect the lines. Then I'll go ahead and slant my shoulder slope. So as you can see me doing. So after slanting my shoulder slope, so from the shoulder slope I'll get the midpoint for my armhole. So I'll come in by ½ inch. This is for the front armhole. So on my chest line, I'll go ahead and mark out my bust measurement divided by 4. So after that, we'll go ahead and connect our armhole. Okay, so this is for the front armhole. Okay, so after that, now the next thing I will do, I'll go ahead and label all my lines. So I have the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, the waist line. Okay, so from there, I'll go ahead and input my neckline. So I used 3 inches of neck depth by 3 inches for my neck width. So for the front, okay, but for the back, I'll maintain the same neck width, but I'll use 1 inch for my neck depth. So, so this is for my front. So I use 3 by 3, okay. So we are drafting the front pattern first. Remember, this is a bustier. So from my waistline, I'll go ahead and divide my hip measurement by 4. So that will serve as my crotch line. So from the waist, I'll come down by 4 inch. You can decide to come down by 4, 5, or 6 inches for your waistline. Okay, so after that, I'm going to make a straight line. So from there now, the next thing I'm going to do, so I will label that as my hip line, okay? So from this center, from the crotch line, I will go ahead and come down by 4 inches. Sorry, I'll come down by 2 inches. So from that line, I also come in by 1.5 inches, okay? So from the crotch line, you come down by 2 inches, then you come down, then you come in by ½ inch on that same crotch line. So after that, the next thing you're going to do, we're going to so after that, I'll go ahead and input my bust span measurements. From my bust point, I'll go ahead and mark my bust span or my nipple to nipple measurement down to the hip or crotch line, okay, down to the crotch line. So after that, I'll connect it with a straight or connect it to my rule to make a straight line down from the bust point to the crotch line, okay. So at this point my marker is trying to dry up, okay. So now I'm trying to make a straight line so that my lines will be visible. So now I'm done marking my straight line. So from the underbust measurement, I will be coming in by ½ inch on both sides. This is for the normal darts. So we're going to draft our normal dart first before we go ahead and draft our bustier. Okay, so now I'm trying to connect. So from the bust point, I will go up by half an inch, and I will also come down by half an inch. So this is to enable me get a very curved edge. I don't want to have a very pointy bust point. So that is the reason for that. So the next thing, I'll go ahead and blend it in to form my dart. You can see we have a normal dart. So the next thing, for us to connect it to our armhole to form our presence dart, then we are going to come in from that midpoint. I will go out by 2 inches of extension. So from that, I'm going to connect it to my bust point. This is if you want a normal presence dart. Okay, for our bust here, we're extending it by 2 inches the front. So for now, to get our bust here, I'll go ahead for my bust. For my under bust, I'll be marking 1.5 inch away, and I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch in. Okay, so 1 inch in. So that means from the normal dart, we marked half inch in and 1 inch out. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and connect. I'll mark everything down, straight down. Okay, I'm trying to get a straight line. So now at this time, I'm marking it straight. I'm not trying to blend in. Okay, so I'm marking it straight. So after that, I'll use my curve rule to get my nice curve for my bust here. Okay, so I'm trying to get my nice curve. As you can see, our bust here is forming already. So from that, I'll also connect it to that 2 inches of extension. So this is it. So go ahead and make a very nice curve. You can see we have a very nice curve, so we have eliminated any sharp edge. So that is the reason for my 2 inches upwards and downwards on the bust point. So now go ahead and mark out my new armhole curve. So from that 2 inch extension, this is the new armhole curve. Okay, so now this is for our bustier. So just in case, so the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to input our horizontal measurement, our body measurements. Okay, so you mark your bust measurement divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. So on the under bust, you mark your under bust measurement, then your dart intake, you are going to replace it. Okay, so you replace your dart intake, then add your sewing allowance. So I marked 1 inch for my sewing allowance because we'll be working on a non-stretch fabric. So I'm doing the same thing on the waistline. So I'll go ahead on the hip line, input my hip measurement divided by 4, your dart intake, then your sewing allowance. So after that, I'll go ahead and connect all the lines together. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and connect all the lines. Okay, so now I'm trying to connect it down to the hip line. So this is what you see me doing in the video. So after that, now the next thing we are going to do, so from this our 1 inch in, remember we came in by 1 inch, you are going to connect. You can see, you can use your free hand or you can use your curve rule or your straight rule. Everything depends on the style you are working on how you want it to be. Remember, this is for the front. So remember, the front has to come in a bit. It has to be a little bit curved. Okay, so this is what I have for the front. So I'm marking out the parts, the darts where we're going to eliminate. So all these parts will be eliminated. We'll cut them off. So that is it. You can see our bodysuit is ready. Our bodysuit present booster is ready. So just in case you want to work with normal darts, you can use the first dart we drafted if you don't want to add any booster. Okay, or if you want to mark your shoulder dart, so you go ahead and mark your shoulder dart. So everything is very simple. Okay, the only difference this bodysuit from the normal um bodies or styles we've been sewing is just the down part. Okay, it's just the down part. So now you can see it's either you use the first dart leg or you use the bustier. Okay, or you can as well use your shoulder dart bustier. So you can see to use that, all you need to do is to divide your shoulder measurement by 2, then add 1 inch on both sides, then connect them to your bust point. Then you have your shoulder dart bustier. Okay, so everything depends on the one you want to work on, but we are not going to emphasize on that because actually this video is more for the shoulder dart. But you can check out my video. I have videos on how to cut a shoulder dart bustier. Okay, you can check out the video on my channel. So I'm just trying to show you can achieve different styles. Okay, so this is, I also have a video on my channel how to cut a bodysuit, but that one using a stretchy fabric. We don't need that. Okay, there was no that. We just cut normal bodysuit. But this is for a bustier. Should in case you want to sew a bodysuit on a non-stretchy fabric. So this is what you need. All right. It's very simple, guys. The next thing you're going to do, go ahead and cut. So we're going to cut it out. So this is how you're going to cut, because we'll be working on the bustier, presence that bustier. So that is it, guys. All right. Okay, yeah, we are done with the cutting. Okay, so the next thing is to make sure the down parts align. So you can see I'm trying to make sure they are aligned together. So we have a very tiny part, you're going to eliminate it. So I'll go ahead and cut that part off. All right, so you can see now they are equal. All right, yeah, they are now equal. I'm trying to cross check. So this is it, guys. The next thing we'll do now is to cut the back. Okay, so I will set this front aside, then we'll go ahead and cut out the back. All right, so for the back, you can see that I've already drafted out, marked out or traced out all the basic measurements. So you can see I added a zipper allowance, 1 inch for my zipper. Then I have the chest line, the bust point, the underbust, the waistline, the hip line, the crouch line, and the extension. So this is basically the front pattern. So I had to introduce the front so that you'll be able to understand all the markings I had there. So you can see I've placed the front on the back. So the next, now go ahead and mark out my bust span measurement, or the nipple to nipple. The same thing we did on the front, we're going to do it. So I'll go ahead and connect the straight line down to the crouch line. Okay, so that is what you see me doing in the video. So after that, the next thing we are going to do, then on the waistline, you are going to come in by 1/2 inch on both sides. 1/2 inch on both sides. So you go ahead and blend it in into the hip line. Okay, from the waist, you're going to blend them in into the hip line. Then you do the same thing, blend it in into the bust point as well. Okay, so we're going to blend it in to form our dart. So on our extension, on the midpoint of our dart, we're going to extend it by 1 inch. Remember the front, I extended it by 2 inches, but for the back, I'll be extending by 1 inch. Okay, so after that you connect. The reason for this extension, I know that some people normally they don't extend the back whenever they are cutting a presence dart or a presence dart bustier for the back, but if you don't extend, you end up, after sewing, you will be having excess or a bulky fabric there. So you can see our new armhole now after the extension. Okay, so that's the reason why I normally extended my um, back armhole. Okay, so now we are going to be adding our body measurements. So you add, you from the underbust, you're going to add then your dart intake 1 inch. You replace it, then mark out your sewing allowance. So you do the same thing, your dart intake, then your sewing allowance. So after that, you go ahead and input your hip measurement and sewing allowance. Okay, so After that, now go ahead and extend the lines, then connect. I'll go ahead and connect all my markings and connect all the lines together. So that is it, guys. It's very simple. So now go ahead and use my marker to highlight all the lines to make sure they are visible. So I'll use my marker to highlight all the lines. So this is for the armhole curve or armhole extension. So this is what I have here. Okay. Okay, guys. So now we are done. So now on the crotch okay, now let's first work on our neckline. So remember I used 3 inches for the neck width. So I'll also maintain it. Then for the neck depth for the back, I'll be using 1 inch. So after that, I'll go ahead and connect it to my French curve. So now our neckline for the back is done. Then on the down part, remember we came down by 2 inches for the front. So on that 2 inches, you're going to extend the back. You are going to extend it by 3 inches or 4 inches. But on this tutorial, I actually extended by 4 inches. Then you come in by 1.5 inches as well. Remember, we did the same thing on the front. After extending by 2 inches from the crotch line, I came in by 1.5. So I did the same thing on the back. So you can see this is my 4 inches extension from the crouch. From the front extension, you're going to extend the back by 4 inches. Then you come in by 1.5. So this is for the back. So I'm trying to see the shape I want, whether it's going to be curvy or straight. So you are going to decide that. Everything depends on your creativity or the style you are working on. Okay. So after that, this is what I have. I'm trying to make sure I get the lines the way I want it. Okay. So now I've highlighted it with my marker so that it will be visible. So I think we are done with the back. So the next I'm going to extend the line, the dot line. So this is what you have for the back, guys. Very simple. Okay. So this is super simple. I'm going to remove the front pattern now for us to see it clearly. So this is what we have. You can see my dots and my dot extension. So this is for the back. So after that, the next thing is to go ahead and cut. So okay, guys, so this is it. We're going to cut it out now. Okay, guys, so we are done with the cutting. So this is what I have. This is for my fabric. So I'll be working with this lace fabric. I'll go ahead and fold it into two. Remember our pattern, we didn't draft it by unfold. So but when we are cutting our fabric, we are going to be folding our fabric on fold. So this fabric is on fold. I'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay, I will just trace everything out on the fabric. So I'm cutting out the back pattern first, after which I'll go ahead and cut out the front. All right, so this is what we have here, guys, for the back. So you can see we are done with the cutting. I'll set it aside. I'm going to fold again for us to cut out the front. All right, so this is it. It's very simple, guys. Very super simple. Okay, so this is what we have here. So after that, the next thing is to assembling. I'm going to assemble them. First of all, I'll go ahead and join my darts together. I'll be sewing my dart first. So I will sew the first dart, then I will also sew the other one. I'll set it aside, and I will do the same thing on the back. I'm going to be sewing it. So for the back, remember we are going to be attaching our zipper. Okay, so I'll go ahead and measure where I want my zipper to stop. Okay, So I'll go ahead and mark it out. So I can see I want my zipper to stop at this point. So I'm trying to mark out my zipper allowance. So I'll pin it down first. So after that, then the down part, I'll go ahead and run a stitch. So you can see where I'm going to run a stitch down from the zipper. This is where my zipper is going to stop. So now I also attach my side, the side dart. I'm going to attach it. So I'm going to sew both sides from the down. You start sewing from the down, not from the upper part. So from the down part, you go ahead and sew the darts together. Okay, so you can see me pinning it. This is the same way I'll go ahead and sew it. All right, so this is it, guys. So you can see it's very simple. So this is what I have. I'll go straight to my sewing machine. So after that, I'll go ahead and join my shoulder to shoulder measurements. I will sew the side together. I will join them with 1 inch of allowance that I added. Then I'll finish the down part. Then the next thing is to attach our collar. So as you can see, guys, I'm done. I'm done with the armhole as well as the down part. So the next thing, I went ahead to measure my neckline. I measure all my neck round. So after that, I use it to cut out my bishop collar. So this is why I cut 2 pieces. So I didn't attach any facing, any sleeve or this. So you can see the way I sew the upper part. So I'll go ahead and use one part of it to join on the main fabric. So you can see I've turned it, I've sewed both the ends together. So make sure you get the accurate neck measurement. Okay, so I'm going to pin. I'll go ahead and sew it round, after which I will use the other end to cover the raw and then the seam where I don't know if people get what I'm trying to say here. So that is how I'm going to get a neat finishing for my neckline. So after that, I'll attach my zipper and our bodysuit is ready. Okay, guys, so this is the final look of our bodysuit, our presence that bustier bodysuit. So this is the final look with a hotter neck. So this is the final look. Is it not beautiful? It is beautiful. Please kindly give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, like and share. Okay, you can still use the same pattern we drafted to achieve different types of bodysuit. The neckline different. You can even sew a corset bodysuit with the same pattern, with the same method. Okay, it's very simple and easy. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this tutorial. Bye.